Hi, welcome to Comet Computer Private Limited VMware vSphere training. So through this training, you'll be able to understand the VMware concepts and you'll be able to install, configure and manage the VMware uh, uh, ESXi 6.7 for your production environment. Even after this training, you'll be able to independently handle the VMware environment of your organization. So in this training, we'll be starting with the introduction to virtualization. So where we'll be initially discussing about why virtualization is required and what is virtualization and what are all the virtualization components and the types of virtualization and then the products of virtualization. So after understanding the initial introduction about the VMware ESXi, we'll be moving into the practical demonstration. So in the practical, initially we'll be understanding what are all the requirements to install the ESX 6.7, and then we'll start installing ESXi 6.7. After that, we'll be configuring the management interface of the hypervisor, and we'll be also connecting the ESXi host using vSphere web client. And in the next module, we'll be discussing how to create and manage the virtual machines. So where we'll see how to create a new virtual machine and how to manage the virtual machines and how to customize the virtual machines. And we'll be understanding what are all the virtual machine files are available. And also we'll see how to install a guest operating system in a virtual machine and installing VMware tools in the virtual machine and also managing the snapshots. And in the next module, we'll be discussing about the uh, virtual networks. So where we'll be understanding about the network concepts, and then we will see how to create and manage the virtual switch and manage the multiple uplink adapters for the virtual switches, and create and manage multiple port groups and its VLAN IDs. And also we'll see how the virtual switch security and load balancing policies. And in the next module, we'll be discussing about the configuring and managing of virtual storage. So in this module, we'll understand the storage protocols and the storage types, and then we'll understand how to configure and manage the iSCSI and the NFS shares, and also we'll understand about the fiber channel storage. And also here we'll see how to create and manage the data stores for ESXi host. And in the next module, we'll be discussing about the virtual center server. So where we'll be understanding about the architecture of the virtual center server. And here we'll also deploy and configure the vCenter server appliance. And also we'll be connecting the vSphere vCenter server using vSphere web client. And in the next module, we'll be understanding about a virtual machine cloning and templates. And also we'll understand how the virtual machine customizations can be done. And after understanding all these things, we'll be practically cloning and deploying a new virtual machine. And also we'll be creating a template, and using the template, we'll be deploying a virtual machine. And also in the next module, we'll be discussing about the virtual machine migration. So where we'll be understanding about the different types of migration and the considerations for cold migration and hot migration. And in the practical, we'll be seeing how to perform the cold migration and hot migration. And in the next module, we'll be discussing about the resource management and monitoring. So where we'll be able to set reservations, limits, and shares. And we'll also configure and manage resource pools. And also we'll monitor the resource usage. And also we can create alarms to report certain events. And in the next module, we'll be discussing about vSphere cluster. So where we'll be understanding what is vSphere cluster and how to create and manage the vSphere cluster. And in the next module, we'll also be discussing about vSphere distributed resource locator. So where we'll be understanding what is DRS and how the DRS works and how the DRS automation and how affinity rule works. And also we'll see the practical demonstration how to configure and manage the vSphere DRS. And in the next module, we'll be discussing about vSphere HA. that is high availability. So here we'll understand the HA architecture, and also we'll understand HA heartbeats, and also in the practical demonstration we'll see how to configure and manage vSphere HA. And in the next module, that is in the last module, we'll also be discussing about vSphere Update Manager. So using which we can update and we can patch the ESXi hosts and the virtual machines. So these are all the topics we will be learning in this training. Enjoy the learning. Thank you. Bye bye.